Good morning, Father. I'm sorry for the things I did in the past. I'm sorry for 20 years of fail. It has not impacted. It has impacted on my own life, and I've been selfish and very nasty and cruel. And it was not my intention. It was not my desire. I was not following the desires of my heart. But I just made the wrong choices of who to friend and who to turn my back on, and you know very well what I've been on about. So all the friends I ever had in my life, they just disappeared, and I'm left with nobody. But I'm not going to I don't want any sympathy from you, because sympathy is the last thing I want to garner from anyone now. I've been playing the sympathy game for too many years. And I'm through with it. Through with sympathy. So basically, I didn't do what I wanted to do. I just made some really nasty choices. I basically became cold and hard, because the kind of contact I made, I'm not going to blame you for my hardening, and I'm not going to blame you at all. I know you scourged me a lot as a child. That is not the issue now. Reminding you of the past fails is not going to produce any light. It's just going to produce heat. That's nothing. We should never do that to any person in this world. We should never remind them of what they failed at, right? Especially when now they want to make what's good. I reap what I sow, but it was a mistake. It was a series of blunders. And every day I'm fighting my own past. I'm fighting what I did. I'm fighting what's the reason I get upset is because I'm over the past. I want to fight it. I want to help people who haven't got a voice. Hence this huge data setup. And it also keeps me entertained, because I have to keep my mind cool. And the way to keep my mind cool is to keep it from being bored. Okay. But the group of people I'm pinning the blame on. But again, I don't want to hold grudges forever. But I'm just telling you that they've impacted on my life so badly. But they've not just impacted my life, but they're actually ruining the planet. They're ruining society. They have not helped the poor. Correction. Look at me. I wasn't helping them either, right? But they're not help. But now I want to do what's right. I've got Asperger's syndrome, and yes, we are task-oriented. So what? We do not have communication skills that match the skills that people like yourself have. Hence the reason why we can't find work. Now, these people are really sad that they can't get into the jobs, because everyone is entitled to a career. And also they haven't got husbands and wives. They're lonely. So you can't really expect them to be nice people. You've got to call, if they're behaving like bottom feeders, and even if they're vandalising and taking drugs and drinking alcohol, I don't condone that behaviour, but I'm not going to condemn them for it, and I'm not going to take up. But basically, the stance that took my life down a blind alley, was the church. Those people that I trusted, Liam Samwa. I know he's not my friend anymore. I know he's not my friend. You're right. Bingo. On the money. He's not my friend. In fact, he might have been he was a transitional friend, but then I had a better friend coming up the same year, 1992, who was wanting to change my life. Now, he wasn't going to just put me on a pedestal and let me sit there and just be little Miss Queen Muck. He wanted to shower me with money and with glory. But he actually wanted to fix my attitude. He wanted to show me something that no one had ever shown me, and that's called love. And then, you see, I woke up to myself, and I've learned how to love. But the problem is, he would have fixed the damage within minutes. The damage would have been fixed, because he was actually the man I desired, the man I was looking for. But I turned my back on him because I thought the church was telling more truth, and I wasn't really functioning properly at the time. I was brainwashed. Now the thing is, I want to forgive them too, but at the moment my life is ruined, it's wrecked. And it doesn't just reflect on my life, because I'm going back to childhood and thinking about the things that I learned as a child and wanted to do, like wanting to love everyone at the age of 5 and 6, despite, but the thing is, when you get treated like when you get bullied all your life, you can't really, it's very hard to find the love, the joy circuit, it's very hard to find something nice to say. And, you've got learning disabilities, and, the thing is, I'm not going to allow my disabilities to get in the way, because I do have powerhouse functions that there's way. And now I'm sorry if I've fouled up your machine a few times. I mean, having virtually no working memory means I can't learn like you normal people. You normal people can do some amazing things. You're very versatile, you're very general purpose, but the thing is, you are running the world, and you're not allowing people who have got other gifts and other talents to, I'm not addressing it to you, Dad, directly, I'm just addressing it as a and that's the problem. And now they're playing Xbox. They've got occupying minds. And the church keeps saying to people, you're addicted to your equipment, you're addicted to your computer. They're actually having a negating effect on this world, because they're not solving the environmental problems. They're not solving poverty en masse. Yes, we have soup kitchens, but how many poor people do we have to the ratio of soup kitchens and housing? The time I spent in Central and around the city, the poor people are everywhere. There's legions of them. They're all sleeping in the train stations, and there just doesn't seem to be any end to this problem. I really want to help these people, but what can I do now? I reap what I sow, but I cannot undo what I did. There is no cosmic undo button in this life. It's not a computer program, But Luigi Benedict was a man who was different to everyone else. He was a scientist. He was the man of my dreams. He wanted to give me a life beyond what I could ever have imagined. And I have to now use faith and creative visualization, and I'm actually losing it because I don't want to be here, but I have to be here because I have to man this machine and try to get a message out to people who are still depressed. I'm not depressed. The only thing that makes me angry and makes me feel mildly depressed is my circumstances, that I can't help them, because no one wants to help me, and I will not use that as an excuse. But he wanted to use my photocopier art as a way of inspiring the industry to change its ways, because the industry now does. You see, it's in there. I watch videos about it. I know you're not into geek culture, nerd culture, but the thing is, we geeks really want to make a better planet. These people, you call them bottom feeders now because they are behaving like bottom feeders, but they are just task-oriented people who don't have a job. I know, because I've watched hundreds of videos of people working with photocopiers, but they're not working in a corporate environment. They're actually working in a purely amateur environment. It's weird, but it's truth. I've met people like this in my travels when I was very young. I just refer to them as toner heads. Now, they had a place in the industry. I was able to walk in and out of a job just like that. Because I have disability, I chose the wrong career path. I wanted to be a technician because I wanted to be practical. I thought being an artist was like, oh yeah, fuck, oh, sorry. It was like, oh yeah, it's just a load of bullshit art. Right, but it's not. It turned out that it was a movement that was making an impact on the industry. It was actually giving the industry some, I don't know, it's weird, I don't know, it's strange. But now it doesn't have a place anymore in the industry, and we're all locked out. And the reason why we see that they're ruining, they're vandalising things, and yes, they're migrants, is because they don't have meaningful jobs. Who wants to be working in a supermarket checkout line, serving the people that are hostile to you? Who wants to do that? Who wants to be unemployed? These people are task-oriented. It's a bit like, I don't know, I'm sorry about the explanation, but it's like a dog, like breeds of dogs. Think of a Kelpie or some working dog. They're called task-oriented dogs. They're designed to have plenty of exercise, and they're designed to do a very specific task, such as herding sheep. But if you put one of them in a house and call it a lap dog, that dog is going to tear up the furniture. It's a dog. It's not a human, but it's a dog. But it'll destroy anything. But then if you put the lap dog in the home, the lap dog is a great person dog. It's It's a good companion dog. Now, normal people would be called companion people, but they're not designed for tasks. A person with Asperger's syndrome is like a working dog. They have to work. They have to use their brain, and they're, normal people. I know it's all about, let me just paraphrase it, it's about money. Normal people want to look proud. We all do. Who doesn't? Normal people feel threatened by brains, because brains, they're worried they're going to take their jobs. Well, now the tables have been turned. All the jobs that we were doing have been stolen, or should we say taken. So, and it seems that the people who wanted, these guys Luigi Benedict wanted to build a photocopier, but now we don't have that, and the industry has actually taken a nasty trajectory. And the thing is, I didn't take myself seriously, but then after a while I became self-important. I took it up in a selfish vein, and now we don't have any support for anything that I'm into now. And it's weird, but I don't know. I'm really ashamed of what I did, and sometimes I wish someone would kill me, because I'm so ashamed. I'm not proud of what I did. In fact, I wish I could take myself back to the time and go out with him, because he was the type of man I was looking for. And it wouldn't have been just about me, because if I was happy in myself, and I was married, and I had all that money, and I was using my art, because, that's all I'm good at. People have said, I'd be cited as the best copier artist in the world. I didn't even know that. But the problem is, when you don't have an audience, it's useless. And that's the problem. I turned my back on it, and then I took it up in a selfish vein, and now I reap what I sow. Now, what else have I been able to do in my life? I've tried. Trying to get a job, working to me is an important thing. Having a relationship, it's always been values I supported, but when you accidentally look the wrong way, you look in the wrong path, you move yourself away from the correct entrance. You're on the threshold, and then you just divert your way. You really got the basketball into the hoop, but the hoop you just deflected it. You don't win the match, you actually lose the match. And then it takes your life down this harrowing path. And then this man wanted to love me and care for me. And then I would not physically be here. I would not be little Miss Mimi. I wouldn't have this reputation to try and destroy. You would probably still have a job, But I don't want you to feel sorry for me now. The thing is, I don't want to talk to you now, because it seems that every time we talk, you always seem to bring back the past. We always seem to fight. I don't like to fight. And the reason why I get angry is because you hurt me when you say those things, because I've been a bullying victim all my life. And I don't want to hear any more negative speak from people directed at me. But the thing is, I don't want you to feel sorry for me either. I just want you to simply leave me alone, and that's why I do not talk to you. And I would rather talk through this machine, because at least when you talk through a machine, well, the thing is, you can turn me off then. That's in your favour. You can switch me off, because, you can turn me right off, and that's good, because that's it. You don't have to put up with my speech. But when I'm talking straight at you, I just lock. I lock onto you, target in range, and that's it. But you can turn me off now, and that's good. So you've got a choice. And then, of course, I'd rather receive a nasty email from you, because then I can just wipe it down, and that's it. It's not pleasant. And I'll tell you what, I don't like being treated like rubbish for the past. I am trying to make something of my life, but I haven't got any resources to help me with now. Luigi Benedict, well, I've reconnected with him. I did videos on my photocopier art, and it actually made him feel better, because I broke his heart 20 years ago, and he went depressed. And because I broke a heart that was so noble and so caring. He wanted to give me what was his was going to be mine, but I wasn't going to be selfish with it. If I had listened to him and not the church, I would have said, well, I'm happy with myself. He loves me for who I am. I don't have to put on a mask and say, give up photocopier art. I do not have to try and be something I'm not. I do not have to push my mind and push myself against who I am. I just be myself and have fun and have parties and entertain people and make people happy. Then I would have had money in my hands, and I would have had a heart so full of happiness, like I I feel happy, but I'm not content because I don't have anything to give now. I don't have money, I don't have social status. My photocopier art is being eaten by moths, metaphorically, because of my selfishness. And I admit, you're right. The reason why it never worked is because I was doing it for myself, 25 years, and now that artwork is now, there's only a few people left over doing it. And I know that it's the only thing I can use with my limited mind resources, you know. It's my song, and Luigi Benedict still wants to harness it, but the problem is I've got to repair damage done to nerds and geeks who have no hope. Like, I don't have to worry about death anymore. In fact, sometimes I wish death would be hastened because of what I did, you know. But it seems as if, and let me just tell you one thing about those people that you call bottom feeders. Yes, they are a menace. Yes, they're costing taxpayers money, but I'll tell you one thing, I want to make them happy and I want to help them. And I've helped a group of them in Mona Vale wake up. And they're very nice people once they get some kind of love and respect. But if you treat them like that, you're just going to wind them up and make them very nasty. Now, they are the ones who are destroying the bus shelters, right? They're the ones who are taking out the windows. You want to know something about them? They're copier industrialists. They're the most hard-working, and throughout the years I've been in the jobs, I've met them, but I treated them like I didn't treat them with respect either. Most of them are migrants, and yes, they can be dangerous. But let me just tell you one thing, they don't hurt me. They don't lay a finger on me. You know, they were the ones who were drawn to me and wanted to have inappropriate relationships with me. But that's because they admire me, and the thing is, they don't have husbands and wives. It's odd, but they don't. Most of them are lonely. They really wanted a husband and a wife, and they want jobs. Now, why the hell? And now they're all sitting there pulling cones. Now, they're my group. They're my club. I don't want to go with these suburban clubs. You know, yes, all due respect. You know, you can have Sing Australia. It's your group. It's your little home group. But you can't enforce that on me now because it is not me. It is not who I am. Now, don't worry, those copier industrialists won't kill me. I wish they would sometimes because it was all that I did. And you guys are not into killing, that's the problem. You white-collar workers, you might be mean and horrible and great at being stingy with your money. Just talking about, not about you specifically, but just the demographic. But you're not good at picking up guns and blowing heads up. And sometimes I wish, you know, if you guys really didn't like me and you really find me offensive, you know, I really wish you could put your money where your mouth is and just act on that desire, because I don't want to live in this world and see what I've done wrong and remember what I've done wrong. Now, Dad, I don't want to talk to you until I have found my way out, until I have helped my group, as in get media help, right? And I don't care about how bad I look. I look bad enough as it is in your eyes and in the eyes of the people who knew me. You know, but I refuse to be told what my life is. I refuse to be defined by the past, and that's when I get angry, and that's when I start to come to blows, and I don't want to fight anymore. I've had enough fighting. I want to make peace and love. And until I find Luigi Benedict, after I've enacted this help, I've inspired people, sorry, I will not be content. This winter will be the winter of my discontent until I have dispensed with the past. So lay your hand off me. There's no use trying to talk to me because, you know, I know antagonism doesn't work, so don't try anything on me because, and the data connection, well, I have only used half that data. When you reported on me that I looked at my screen, I used about 49%, and then when you reported I was using too much, we just clicked on to the next. We've actually wasted half of it, so we've got plenty of bandwidth, and I'm not using much water in that, so don't pick on me, because if you pick on me, you're just going to make me hot. You're going to make me angry, and I'm not going to be very much use to my cause. I'm going to waste time. I'm going to be here more longer, and I don't want to be here. So leave me alone. I will keep with my machines, because machines don't offend, they don't talk back. We don't have artificial intelligence, thank goodness. In development it is. But mark my words, I've got work to do, and I'm signing off. Goodbye, and I hope to reconnect with you in a more happier vein, because until I get together with my husband, or at least until I get Skyping with him, I will not be happy, right? There you go. Goodbye.